Good morning, guys. It's Miss Smith. I have my microphone issue fixed now, so I'm back. So this week we have been talking about characters and setting. So to review, we know that the characters are who's in the story. Could be people or animals, whatever. Whoever is in the story are the characters. Okay, and then the setting we know is where does the story take place, where, what time, those types of things. Okay, so today we want to add on to our review of characters and setting under story elements and add problem and solution, which we've also talked about this year. So, as we know, the problem is something that the characters want to change, fix, or figure out. So, another way to put that is the problem is what is wrong in the story. Okay, and then the solution, as we know, is how do we solve the problem? Okay, so the problem is what's wrong or something the characters want to change, fix, or figure out. And then the solution is the way to solve the problem. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys a story today that we have read before called Mango, Abuela, and Me. We read this towards the very beginning of the school year, but it's a very good story, and we're going to read it again today. And I'm going to have you guys identify the story elements at the end. Okay, so Mango, Abuela, and Me. It's written by Meg Medina and illustrated by Angela Dominguez. Now, remember, I do not speak Spanish, so if I mess up any of these words and you do speak Spanish, I apologize in advance. Okay. So, Mango, Abuela, and Me. She comes to us in winter, leaving behind her sunny house that rested between two snaking rivers. Her old place was too much for just one, Mommy tells me as we make room in my dresser for her clothes. And too far away for us to help, Papi adds. Abuela belongs with us now, Mia. But I still feel shy when I meet this faraway grandmother. Taking forever to load. Okay. Peen, pan, poon. Papi unfolds Abuela's bed and slides it right next to mine. You will get to know each other, he says. But when I show Abuela my new book, she can't unlock the English words. We can only look at the pictures and watch Edmund race on his wheel. Then, just before we turn out the light, she pulls out two things tucked inside the satin pocket of her suitcase. What do you predict those two things are going to be? A feather, una pluma, from a wild parrot that roosted in her mango trees, and a snapshot, una fotografia, of a young man with Papi's smile. To abuelo, she says, climbing into bed. Snuggled in my pajamas, I smell flowers in her hair, sugar and cinnamon baked into her skin. That night, I dream of a red bird circling in the sky. The rest of the winter, while Mommy and Papi are at work, Abuela waits for me to get home from school. Then we bundle up in thick socks and handmade sweaters to walk to the park and toss bread to the sparrows. My Espanol is not good enough to tell her the things an abuela should know, like how I'm the very best in art and how I can run as fast as the boys. So since they're wearing thick socks and handmade sweaters to walk in the park, what kind of weather do you think it is outside? What season do you think it is? And her English is too poquito to tell me all the stories I want to know about Abuelo and the rivers that ran right outside their door. With our mouths as empty as bread baskets, we walk back home and watch TV. Abuela and I can't understand each other, I whisper to Mommy. Things will get better, Mommy says. Remember how it was with Kim? Kim is my best friend at school. When she was new, our whole class helped teach her English words. Now Miss Wilson sometimes has to say, please be quiet, girls, others are working. So, can you think of a time where you've had a family member or a friend or someone that you just met that speaks a different language than you and you guys are having trouble communicating with each other? Remember High Tech at school, who just came to our school earlier this year, and he only speaks Polish, right? So, we were having a hard time understanding him and we had to find ways to communicate. After school the next day, while Abuela and I are making our meat pies for our snack, I pretend I am Miss Wilson. Dough, I say, pointing to the ball. Abuela says, dough, masa, and rolls it flat. Masa, I say. She drops a spoonful of meat in place. Carne, carne, I say. Meat. Pasas, raisins. Aceite, oil. Okay, so what are they doing here? They're saying the words in English and Spanish. So not only is Abuela getting to learn some English words, but she is learning some Spanish words as well, which is pretty cool. Then I remember the word cards we taped in our classroom to help Kim. So while Abuela fries our empanadas, I put up word cards too until everything is covered, even Edmund. Soon we are playing Oi Ed, hear and say, all around the house. But that night, she still calls my pillow Apollo, and she says Edmund is a gangster. We'll keep practicing, I whisper. But the next day, I cannot practice with Abuela after all. Edmund has run out of his favorite seeds, so Mommy and I have to ride the bus downtown to buy more. Sometimes there are kittens sleeping in the pet shop window, but when we arrive this time, something even better is behind the glass. What do you think is going to be behind the glass, guys? If you don't remember. Look, I say. The window has become a jungle filled with birds, and right in the middle is a parrot staring at us with black bean eyes. I press my nose to the glass, thinking of the red feather Abuela gave me. Let's buy him, I tell Mommy. But Mia, you already have Edmund, Mommy says. Oh, not for me, I say. For Abuela, like the parrot that lived in her mango trees. He can keep her company while I'm at school. What else do you think the parrot could help with besides keeping Abuela company while she's at school? How else could the parrot help Abuela? Think about it. When we bring him home to Abuela, she says, un loro, a parrot. We name him Mango because his wings are green, orange, and gold like the fruit. During the day, Abuela teaches him how to give beaky kisses and to bob his head when she sings Los Pollitos to him. Buenas tardes, Mango, Abuela says, opening his cage door when I get home from school. Good afternoon, I say, and give him a seed. Soon Mango calls to me even before we open his cage. Buenos tardes, he says when I open the door. Good afternoon. So not only is Mango keeping her company, but he can also say these words in English and Spanish and help Abuela learn English. So that is awesome. Abuela, Mango, and I practice new words every day. Mi Espanol gets faster, and Abuela and Mango learn the days of the week, all the months of the year, and the names of coins. How did he learn all that? Papi asks when we show him all that Mango can do. Abuela winks at me and gives Mango a piece of banana, peel and all. Practice, she says. Before long, Abuela asks me to say harder things too, so she can talk with the neighbors who stop by. Has the mailman come? It is chilly today. Can I get you some cookies and lemonade? Soon, when friends stop by to see Mango's latest tricks, they can understand everything Abuela says. But best of all, now when Abuela and I are lying next to each other in our beds, our mouths are full of things to say. I tell her about my buen dia and show her my best pintura of Mango. Abuela reads my favorite book with only a little help, and she tells me new stories about Abuelo, who could dive for river stones with a single breath and weave a roof out of palms. I draw pictures for her. She still misses their old house, she says, but now only a little bit. Mango listens to us from his perch until my eyes grow heavy. Hasta mañana, abuela, I say. Abuela kisses me. Good night, Mia. Hasta mañana. Good night, Mango calls. And soon we all fall asleep. All right. So now what I want you to do, and I'll also write this on the post, is like we've been doing, I think it's A through L. Well, that's what it's going to be today. If your first name starts with A through L, I want you to list the characters in the story. If your first name begins with M to Z, I want you to list the setting in the story. Okay, so A through L, list the characters. M through Z, list the setting. And then all of us are going to list what the problem and solution are. Okay, so if you're A through L, you're going to do characters, problem, and setting. I'm sorry, completely ignore me. That was wrong. If you're A through L, you are going to list the characters, the problem, and the solution. Okay? And then if you're M through Z, you're going to list the setting and then the problem and solution. Okay, so remember, the problem was what was wrong in the story. What do the characters want to change, fix, or figure out? Think about Mia and Abuela. What was the problem with them at the beginning of the story? And what solutions did they use to solve that problem? Okay? Also, I want you to think about a fun question. If you had a parrot, what types of words or phrases would you teach him? Okay, because it could be pretty fun to have one. What would you teach your parrot if you had one? All right, so I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.